in New York City at the Steve Rolls Edgar Berlanga press conference with none other than Dibella, Hall of Fame promoter now, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right, gotta give you that honor. You deserve it. All right, so quick thoughts on this fight. You're working with Steve Rolls, right?
Have been for years.
And what are your thoughts about Steve at this point in his career going into this fight?
I think he's the best fighter he's ever been. I think he's the most prepared fighter he's ever been. He's been a full-time fighter for a few years now and had the opportunity really to try to better his craft. I think the experience against Golovkin, though it didn't turn out how we hoped, was invaluable. And in the big room at the Garden, he's way more than Edgar Berlanga has ever fought before. And Steve's a legitimate championship contender. And I think that Saturday night's going to be another learning night, but it's going to be a learning night for Edgar Berlanga. I don't. Anyone who doesn't think Steve can win this fight doesn't know Steve. Steve is a very, very live underdog in this fight, and he knows that this fight is the fight that can propel him to a world title shot and to big things. And the other thing about Steve, if you have a chance, you should interview him. If you haven't, he's a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? He's an intelligent, put together, mature, grown-ass man, and he handles this sport like the professional he is, and he's going to walk in that ring on Saturday like the professional he is, and if he doesn't get caught, because Berlanga punches like a mule, we all know that, he has to watch out for that guy's, that guy can punch, so his power is real, but if Steve doesn't get caught, Edgar Berlanga is going to get an L.
Absolutely. Do you think people would give him a little bit more respect if he wasn't from Eastern Canada? I mean, a lot of people didn't know much about him going into the fight with Golovkin, right?
Yeah, but I mean, look, he's been in with real guys, and he's fought good competition, solid competition. Steve hasn't been babied at all during his career, and people that watched the Golovkin fight know that he got caught, but until that moment he got caught, that was a competitive fight, and he got Golovkin's attention, actually stunned him. Steve can fight. Steve's a real pro. I mean, I had no hesitation making any fight with Steve Rolls against any level of guy because he's a top guy. You know, he's not a guy that's won a title yet, but he's a top guy. He's getting the opportunity to prove it Saturday night.
Absolutely. Lou, last time I saw you last time I interviewed you was at the Garden fight with Kambosos and Lopez. You were over the moon for that one. It was a very exciting night here at the same venue in the Hulu Theater. What's next for George Kambosos? We've been waiting a long time to hear news about his next opponent.
We've been waiting, but the time frame for George may not have been the time frame for you guys. Like, he wanted to take a few months off. He trained. You got to remember that fight kept getting rescheduled. He trained for over a full year. He was away from his family for a lot of that period of time. His wife had a baby while he was training. He wanted to take a few months, and the plan was always to fight in June. And within the next couple of weeks, we'll be announcing a major June fight for George Kambosos in Australia.
Any chance that it might be Devin Haney?
There's a chance. I mean, right now he's going to fight a very big fight, and if Lomachenko can't leave the Ukraine, that limits the choices, doesn't it? So I'm telling you, it's going to be a big fight. We'll see what materializes in the next week or so. I don't want to talk much more about it. You know, one thing you guys with the phones on the stands should understand is that when guys talk too much to the press about negotiations or what's happening or what they're going to announce, it generally doesn't get fucking announced because it's usually bullshit. And where business is really being conducted, it's being conducted not in front of your eyes, but ultimately you'll hear the fruits of it. And that's where we are right now. George Kambosos wants to fight a huge fight. He wants to fight it in the biggest venue, possibly wants to fight it on his home soil. We're going to do all those things. You can assume that limits the opponent pool. If we say it's a huge fight, there are only a few people that can fit that category, and we're going to announce one of them. It's not I don't think anyone, it's not a secret that we were well along the road with Loma, and not a signed contract, but a deal in principle, and he went back to his home country as a matter of conscience, and right now we're giving him a little bit of a chance to decide, and see what's going to materialize. But we have to announce something within a couple of weeks, and we will.
Thank you so much, Lou.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.